marathon on Monday night. And then a surgically precise performance on Tuesday night from Zack Greinke. And then a 15 strikeout, 1-walk bludgeoning by Clayton Kershaw last night, as the Dodgers are now a season-high 18 games over 500. A season-high 6.5 game lead, 7 in the loss column, against a frustrated Giants team with 30 games to go. Kershaw, while equaling a career high in strikeouts for a game, set a new personal best with 251 strikeouts on the season. Chase Utley's first home run as a Dodger was the difference. Now the question begs, has the clock struck midnight on the Dodgers' arch rivals? Only time will tell as the Dodgers begin a 10-game road trip here in San Diego next. It's a beautiful night for baseball, and live from Petco Park in San Diego, Sportsnet LA presents the Los Angeles Dodgers and the San Diego Padres in the first of a 4-game series. Hi again, everybody. Charlie Steiner, Oral Hershiser, Nomar Garciaparra. Corey Seager is here. He's going to make his Major League debut tonight, and by the sounds of it, he'll be playing at third base tomorrow night. But as far as the Dodgers as a team are concerned, 30 to go. There is no time now to take their foot off the accelerator.
You have an incredible series against the Giants where you sweep them. You increase your lead to 6.5 games. You play games where you only win by 1 run in all 3 of them. But you have to continue playing like your pants are on fire. You have to continue playing great defense, making great plays behind your pitcher. You have to continue to go out there and swing the bats, swing in clutch situations, do the little things, move runners over. Yeah, the Giants series was like the playoffs, but you have to play the rest of September just like it was the postseason. And that's position players. How about the pitchers?
Well, the starting pitching has really rescued this team with Clayton Kershaw and Zack Greinke coming to the rescue. But before that, the bullpen was the key to the sweep against the Giants, the 14-inning game. Luis Avilan has had 6 scoreless outings in a row. Getting out Jay Bruce in Cincinnati was huge. Chris Hatcher, 45 pitches in the 14-inning game for the W. And then Jim Johnson has been solid. And at the end, Kenley Jansen, 12 out of 13 scoreless outings, saves in both those games against the Giants. He has been fantastic and the savior of the bullpen.
And the story of the night tonight, the arrival of Corey Seager. And when we come back, Alana will detail that story as the Dodgers and Padres get ready for the first of 4 from Petco. his major league debut here at Petco Park in San Diego. Dodgers and Padres in the first of this 4-game series, and our closed captioning is brought to you by Shumash Casino Resort. We were all about you. And so the starting lineup put together by Don Mattingly and brought to you by Honda has Jock Peterson leading off in center field and Chase Utley with a big home run last night batting second. Gonzalez, Turner, and Crawford through the middle of the lineup. Yasmani Grandal behind the plate. Van Slyke in right, and there is Corey Seager batting eighth. Jimmy Rollins had played 37 games in a row. Kike Hernandez has the bad hamstring, and so the time was right to get Seager up. Matt Latos is pitching and batting ninth against 25-year-old Colin Ray.
Yeah, Colin Ray comes at you featuring a fastball, curveball with an occasional changeup that he holds like a split finger, and he also features a cutter that he throws a lot. His last outing, he got the loss versus the Phillies, only going 5 innings, giving up 6 hits. But the issue he had in that game was his command. So the really key, especially with a young pitcher like that, is see if he's able to command the strike zone early. If not, wait for your pitch and take advantage.
And so the Dodgers begin the night 6.5 in front of the Giants, and the Giants are down in Denver. Rockies are hitting in the bottom of the fourth. They lead Vogelsong in San Francisco 5-2. We are getting ready to play the Dodgers with 30 games left in the regular season at 75-57 as Jock Peterson steps in, and we are ready to go. So here's the first pitch of the game, up and away, 1 ball and no strikes. Chase Utley and Adrian Gonzalez to follow. A perfect 73 degrees here at Petco. Colin Ray delivers. And Peterson, who's been working overtime with Mark McGwire and John Valentin, trying to cut down on all those strikeouts.
Featuring a new batting stance, a flatter bat at the plate, not an upright bat. A little calmer leg kick as he goes towards the pitch.
And here's Upton. So we're underway with Upton in left field. Travis Jankowski is the Padres center fielder, and you know the right fielder, Matthew Ryan Kemp. Solarte and Jerko, Spangenberg and Wallace around the infield, and Derek Norris is behind the plate. Chase Utley with the big home run in the 6th inning last night. The difference in the Dodgers' 2-1 win and completing the sweep of the Giants. Utley on the year at .215. 6 home runs, 32 runs batted in. Taking outside, 1 ball and no strikes.
That's a big home run for Chase Utley. You know, you get traded to a new team and you want to obviously make an impact, especially a team that's trying to get to the postseason. So you have some power. You're trying to make an impression. You hit a lot of home runs against them. So you're trying to. When's a good time to hit one? Well, yesterday was a great time to hit one. Give them the lead.
A lot different getting a home run compared to just getting your first hit out of the way.
Yeah, for Corey Seager, he's looking for his first hit. But for Chase Utley, it was more about that big hit, whether it's a home run or maybe it's a walk-off. It's something that really was an impact over in a game. And yesterday definitely was an impact.
Adrian Gonzalez on deck, Justin Turner to follow. And Colin Ray delivers. 2 balls and 2 strikes. First of a 4-game series. Then next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, the Dodgers will be playing in Anaheim. Next Thursday, an off day. And then next weekend, the Dodgers will be in Arizona. And suddenly, after all that, just a couple of weeks will be left in the season. On 2-2 to Utley. High and away, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So they've got the shift on for Chase.
They moved a third baseman up the middle on the right side. Instead of leaving him and shifting the infield conventionally, just moving them all around, they actually changed the order.
3-2, and Utley takes the ball. So the first base runner of the night, Ray, in 19 2/3 innings, has 16 strikeouts, but now 7 walks. And up steps Adrian Gonzalez. Gonzalez has been quiet lately, down to 284. Hitting .391 against the Pods this year. 1 ball and no strikes.
Over the course of his career, he has really loved hitting here when he was a Padre and when he's an opposing player, not wearing the home whites.
There's a strike.
And when you come into Petco Park, rarely do you ever hear a hitter saying, "Oh, really love hitting here." But for Adrian Gonzalez, you know, he has just a different mentality. We always talk about, we obviously know he has a lot of home runs. He says he's not a home run hitter. So here it's big gaps, and that's what he thinks about, just driving the ball in the gaps.
Here's a strike.
And he can go line to line depending on what he wants to do, what the pitcher's going to throw him, what he thinks the ballpark will give him, and what the situation calls for as far as where he is in the order, who's on base, if he's leading off the inning, or is he responsible for driving somebody in.
Short lead for Utley. The shift is on for Gonzalez. Down on strikes.
Well, he goes up high with the fastball. And as a hitter, it's so hard to lay off of those. And you always hear that afterwards. Stay off the high ones. But when they're coming at you, close to your eyes, they look like they're really easy to hit. You think you can get on top of that ball. And you end up swinging underneath it.
Justin Turner stepping in. Turner has done well against San Diego and takes outside and low. 1 ball and no strikes.
It sounds like Justin's going to get a day off tomorrow. Corey Seager may be shifting over from shortstop to third base.
Turner with 15 home runs. Turner had 15 big league home runs coming into the season. And his 52 RBIs is a career high. Hit by a pitch on the pinky last night. Slicing down the right field line and out of play. This is where he got it.
Whenever you get it hit in the hand, obviously the pain itself, but you're always just so worried in the back of your mind that there's so many little bones in there that you worry that, okay, I know it's painful, but then when they get the x-ray, will they find something that has, you know, maybe a hairline fracture, a little crack, or whatever it may be? And the good news is they came out negative.
In 17 games against the Padres, he's hitting .413 with a .438 on base percentage. Just underway. 2 out in the first, and Turner rolls it to short, where Jerko, the converted second baseman, with the underhanded flip to Corey Spangenberg. No runs, no hits, a walk, and a man left. Matt Lato's about ready to make his 21st start of the season and his 5th with the Dodgers. through the season, was the AAA manager until Bud Black was shown the door. And here's the lineup he has put together. Brought to you by Honda, with Yangervis Solarte having a solid season at third base, Spangenberg at second, and Matt Kemp a great second half in right. Upton in left, Jerko at short, Brett Wallace at first base, Derek Norris behind the plate, Colin Ray pitching and batting eighth, and Travis Jankowski is in center field batting ninth against Matt Latos.
Matt Latos on the mound has gotten a little better now. He's missed some time out of the rotation, got to work on some things, got back in there, and he's really pitching better from the stretch. And I know that sounds funny, but he's had a tendency to get in a few jams, and then when he was in those jams, not make very high-quality pitches, but getting more ground balls and making higher-quality pitches when he's in jams.
So here's Solarte, the switch hitter, former Yankee. He's a utility player who has found, at least temporarily, a home at third base. 261 on the year, with 11 home runs and 53 runs batted in. Spangenberg and Kemp to follow. Latos into the wide. Into left center field, and that's going to go to the wall. Solarte will have at least a leadoff double. He will hold there. For Solarte, his 26th two-base hit of the year. 2 pitches in, and Latos is in a bit of a jam.
Fastball down the middle. You see where the glove is, but look where Yasmani has to reach, right up and down the middle of the plate. Talk about starting to eliminate the mistakes on the mound, and right there, the second pitch in the game, you get ahead, you've got to make a higher quality pitch, not something in the middle.
And I thought Peterson did a good job getting to that ball quickly, because he was actually playing in the opposite gap, having to run over there and just keeping it to a double, because Solarte was thinking third right out of the box.
And he's got good speed as Spangenberg steps in. Squaring to bunt up the third base line, and Turner lets it go foul. That was his only play.
That was a wise choice by Justin Turner there. That was a nice bunt by Spangenberg. And if Justin Turner picks this up in fair territory, he had no chance at first base.
Spangenberg has great speed. No balls and a strike. Kemp is on deck. So Latos off to a wobbly beginning, but in Denver tonight, in the bottom of the fourth, the Rockies lead the Giants 7-2. Spangenberg's got a couple of home runs and a dozen runs batted in. Squaring to bunt again. This time he drags it. Latos will throw him out, but Solarte goes to third.
Seems like he was bunting for a hit in the first attempt, and in that one, that was going to be a sacrifice. It could have been a bunt for a hit if he'd have dragged it a little further, but definitely was going to move that runner up at a minimum.
Now Matt Kemp stepping in. Kemp, much like last year, a slow first half and a torrid second half. Kemp has been on base in 22 consecutive games and has fared well against the Dodgers in his first season away from Los Angeles. 17 home runs, 85 runs batted in. Fouls it off to the right, and it's 0-1. Tale of two halves.
It sure is. He took a while last year to get it going. This year, the same way. Very excited to come over and be a Padre, but the team has not panned out the way he thought.
Padres 5 under 500. Breaking ball for a strike, and it's 0-2. So Latos trying to reel it back in after the leadoff double by Solarte, who's at third base with one out.
I think Matt will take a couple shots right here to strike out the other Matt with the 0-2 count. Looks like they're going to go fastball up and in.
Kemp with 125 strikeouts. That was up and in all right. Close shave.
This is up there with a purpose. Get somebody 0-2. You don't want to hit them because you're in a count where you can make some pitches and get an out. It's a little close for what you're trying to do.
Kemp with 85 RBIs is tied with Andrew McCutchen for third in the National League. Nolan Arenado leads the National League with 100. Paul Goldschmidt has 97. Kemp, of course, is prone to strike out some. He's got 125 punch outs. He fouls it off to the right and out of play.
Conventional thinking is you knock a hitter down 0-2 or 1-2, you're going to go back away with the slider or the curveball. But a lot of times the surprising pitch is to continue to pound them in right there because they are thinking about leaning out over the plate. And the reason you go in there anyway is you don't want a guy to extend his arms.
On 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kemp rolls it foul.
That was a good job by Matt Kemp to get a piece of that one and to stay alive. Because as a hitter, that after you're exactly right, or you're thinking, all right, you come up and in, you're going, all right, you're just getting me up and in so you can expand the outer half so you're going down and away. And that was the pitch before. Well, after you go down and away, now as a hitter, you're going, okay, you're open. You can stay out there or you can come in. And you're still kind of thinking, well, they might want to come back in. And with that pitch was even farther away. Just to get a piece of it was impressive.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Matt Kemp. And he is down on strikes. A much needed strikeout for Latos. 126 time Kemp has gone down on strikes, and that's the second out of the inning. Defensively tonight, behind Matt Latos, Crawford Peterson and Van Slyke, it is Corey Seager who is gaining all the attention this evening at short. Turner at third. Utley and Gonzalez on the right side of the infield, and Yasmani Grandal, the former Padre, is behind the plate. And there is Seager, who had quite a year at AA and AAA, and tonight his debut. 104 games at short, and by the sound of it, he's going to play some third base tomorrow night. Justin Upton takes low and outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Upton with 24 home runs, and he loves the offerings of Matt Latos. 2 home runs, 2 doubles, and a triple among the 10 hits and 20 at-bats against Matt Latos. Upton, of course, a free agent at the end of the year. And there's a strike.
Matt Latos making some terrific pitches with his breaking stuff right now. The sliders away, the curveball that broke down in the dirt that got Matt Kemp. And these are the pitches, the high quality off speed pitches that have started to come out of his arm lately in the last few outings.
2 balls and a strike to Upton. Who has hit well in this pitcher's park in San Diego. 2-1. Now Latos misses. It's 3 balls and a strike.
Or when you know numbers like Upton has against Matt Latos, if you're a pitcher, Matt Latos, do you man on third base? Obviously, you have 2 outs. You did a good job. Do you mind just really pitching like it's 0-2, and if you put him on, you put him on?
Yep, I would be thinking about pitching around him right here.
Pass Seager into left field for a base hit. Should have been listening. Upton with a single to left. Solarte comes in to score. Go on to second is Upton, and the Padres take a 1-0 lead.
I know it's early in the game and you're throwing the ball really well. That's the worst breaking ball that he has thrown. The slider that just stays up, and it's kind of a basic strike slider that, Nomar, you talked about. Maybe thinking about the count is 0-2 in your mind and throwing an 0-2 pitch instead of one that I'm trying to get back in the count and not lose this hitter. Instead of losing the hitter, you lost the run.
And Upton on his 20th double knocks in his 73rd run, and the Padres have the early lead. But it could be worse. The Giants are down 9-2 in the bottom half of the fourth in Colorado. Carlos Gonzalez, what a second half he has had. He's hit a home run.
So 9-2 in Colorado. It's really what, like a 3-run lead?
The pitcher's duel. Dodgers have one more trip up there. 0-1. Lined into left field for a base hit. Upton rounding third. He's on his way home. The throw to the plate won't be in time. And on the throw, going to second is Jerko. And it is 2-0 San Diego.
A bad slider 3-1 to Upton and a bad curveball right here. It just kind of hangs up there and says, hit me. He did an awesome job getting Matt Kemp out with less than 2 outs and a man on third. Made some quality pitches, but then kind of the wheels have come off here in the first inning for Matt Latos with some hanging breaking balls.
And man, on that throw as well, I'd like to see Carl Crawford hit the cutoff man on that one, because he really didn't have a chance of throwing Upton out at home plate. Justin had a great jump and has decent speed, so at least hitting the cutoff man would have kept Jerko at first base.
So Jerko with his 41st RBI, and Brett Wallace stepping in. An issue for Latos in his last 3 starts has failed to finish the 5th inning. He's given up 2 runs and 3 hits here in the first. Mike Bolsinger pitches tomorrow night. Alex Wood on Saturday, and Brett Anderson on Sunday. Now the 0-1 to Wallace. Tried to check his swing, foul tipped it, and it's 0-2.
Now you're ahead, and you, in the back of your mind, you know you've hung a couple breaking balls, 1 slider, 1 curveball to give up the runs. You've really got to make an adjustment here and bear down. Maybe bounce a couple pitches. See if you can get the swing and miss.
Wallace at 375. And is 8 for his last 11. Brett Wallace played at Arizona State and was a first-round pick of the Cardinals. And when he played at Arizona State, his coach was Pat Murphy. No balls and 2 strikes. Slowly hit. That's Seager coming in and throwing him out. But the Padres draw first blood. Couple of runs, 3 hits. They leave 1 and lead 2-0 after the first inning. Jeep Cherokee with an EPA estimated 31 highway MPG. It's the perfect choice. Visit Jeep.com today. So Matt Latos, a rough first inning, 21 pitches, 17 strikes, 2 runs and 3 base hits. He struck out a batter. And Dodgers are down 2-0 as we go to the top half of the second inning. Carl Crawford will lead it off, and then Yasmani Grandal and Scott Van Slyke. So after tonight, 30 games remain. If the Dodgers just go 15-15, they will win 90 on the year, 194 last year. And there's a strike, 0-1. If the Dodgers go 15-15 over the final 30, the Giants, in order to tie the Dodgers, would have to win 21 of their remaining 29 games, and they're getting their brains beaten out in Colorado tonight, 9-2. Into center field, and that's going to get past Jankowski, and now Crawford will hold at second base with a leadoff stand-up double.
Oh, Crawford picks on a breaking ball right there after the first pitch fastball up and in. He didn't agree with the strike call, but he spanks this one. He blows a tire going around first when he makes the turn. Looks like he might have a shot at 3, but right about here, gets a little stumble. Had to make a slight pit stop, so no chance at a triple.
Sometimes you're just too fast.
And Crawford in his last 16 games against San Diego, .415. As Yasmani Grandal steps in. Grandal at .261. He struggled through the month of August. After the first 3 months, he was an all-star. Of course, came over in the big Matt Kemp trade over the winter. Van Slyke on deck, and Grandal takes inside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
When you're a hitter like Grandal, you're struggling. These are good times as a hitter. You're going, okay, when you're in that slump, you're hopefully going, at least if I make an out, if I can make it a productive out and move the guy over.
1-2.
And that's what you're thinking.
So you have another level of success.
That's exactly right. You're going, okay, when nobody's on, you're thinking all the stuff you're doing wrong. Is it my hands? Am I striding? Am I overstriding? Not seeing it? Get a good pitch. Here you're like, let me just get the job done. Let me just focus on that and try to have some sort of good result.
Not in this at-bat. That's the second strikeout for Ray. And that's one of those where you go back to the dugout and what do I have to do?
That's when it starts snowballing on you as a hitter.
I can't even do the little thing right.
Yeah, exactly. It's frustrating, and that's when you tell yourself, now I know I'm in a slump.
Van Slyke stepping in. 250 on the year, up and away, 1 ball and no strikes to Scott Van Slyke, and Corey Seager is on deck. And that'll be fun.
In his first big league at bat, he's going to come to the plate with a dirty uniform on after that diving attempt at shortstop. The long-term memorable pictures of his first at bat. He's going to look like he's played a while.
That's good, getting after it.
1 ball and 1 strike to Van Slyke. Grounds it to short. Thrown out. But Crawford will go to third, and here comes Corey Seager. That is Jeff Seager. He is Corey's proud papa. He's already been through that once before. Kyle Seager up in Seattle. And Corey Seager's first big league hit. For his first big league at bat. Let's see about the first hit. It's a strike, 0-1. Seager just 21 years of age. Beaten on a fastball upstairs, and it's 0-2.
That's a smart pitch. When you have a guy in his first at bat, you have all the adrenaline, the anxiety. You go up in the zone that you're already think you want to swing the bat so bad as your first at bat.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Corey talked with our Alana Rizzo before the game, and he said that the first at bat is not quite as bad as he's not facing a big name pitcher. He's actually facing Colin Ray that he faced in the minor league, so somebody knows a little bit.
1-2 to Seager. Crawford leads from third. The fastball upstairs, 2-2.
I don't think the scouting report is that he chases the pitch up, but I think the scouting report is more that he's more of a low ball hitter, because we saw a lot of discipline on the high pitches in spring training and throughout his minor league year.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Corey Seager. In 124 games at Double and Triple A this year, Seager combined numbers 292, 18 home runs, 74 runs batted in, 36 doubles, 3 triples. Walked 37 times, struck out 76, at an on-base percentage of .343. Dodgers' first-round pick of 2012. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Corey Seager takes ball strike 3, and that'll do it. No runs and 1 base hit. Welcome to the bigs, Corey Seager. Fireworks. Come on out September the 18th and take your place on the field for a fireworks show featuring a salute to Frank Sinatra. For more information, go to Dodgers.com/promotions. So Corey Seager didn't think it was going to be that easy, did you? Strikes out in his first big league at bat.
Some good cutters up that they tried to get him to chase, but then that strikeout pitch was a 2-seamer that actually went the opposite direction, fooled him a little bit.
And so Seager's first at bat is under his belt. Wasn't exactly how he had envisioned it as a kid.
You get it out of the way. He already has the ground ball. Now you just go play baseball.
Now it's playtime. Derek Norris stepping in, and he takes a fastball for a strike. 0-1. Both of you guys obviously had a first day in the big leagues because that's how it works. What was your first day like, Nomar? You came up, they had heard of you. You came with a fair degree of fanfare. What was that day like?
Oh boy, I remember how nervous you are. No matter whether you think, oh, I think I'll be under control. You're still not. I mean, it's obvious. You get there early. You can't believe it. You see all the jerseys up in the locker room, all the big names. And batting practice is a little bit different.
Norris with a base hit to left.
you may have a routine at batting practice, but you just don't execute it quite the same because of your anxiety. But when it's all said and done, the things you want to get out of the way is your first ground ball, and you want your first at bat out of the way, so then you can say, okay, I can just relax a little bit. And I got both of those out the first game, but I didn't have to start. I came in at the end of the game to fill in at defense.
For Jeff Fry, bunted in the air, and Grandal can't quite reach it.
Yeah, so for me, it was, and I had an at bat. And the funny thing is, I was thinking my first at bat's going to be a guy who's going to probably challenge me with a fastball, young guy, doesn't know who I am, and I'm ready. I like to swing early and get after that. And I faced a guy whose name is Willie Adams, who was my teammate in the Olympics, and I played against. He's from Whittier, California, just like me. We played against each other growing up, so he knew every first pitch is a breaking ball. He goes, "Oh, I know who you are." It was hilarious. So that was really fun.
Colin Ray is the hitter. This time he swings and fouls it back, 0-2. And you were a late call-up.
I was August 31st.
That's a late call-up.
It was. So it was, now we know all the rules, like August 31st, in case you make the postseason, be eligible for the postseason roster. But that's what's great about September, too. We're going to see a lot throughout all Major League Baseball. A lot of baseballs being thrown in the dugout for people's first hits.
Colin Ray bunts it, and he's out. That goes down statistically as the second strikeout. Pat Murphy is talking with Adam Hamari, the 32-year-old vacation reliever out of Marquette, Wisconsin, about what precisely, I don't know.
That's a stumper right there.
Yeah, whatever he said, it was quick. And all your first day.
September 1st, 1983, Montreal Olympic Stadium. They told me to get up to relieve, and I think when the ball came out of the ball bag, I was loose. I was ready to go. First hitter was Gary Carter. I was scared to death. He grounded the ball back to me. First pitch, I threw a sinker for a strike. Steve Yeager was catching me. He came out halfway between home and the plate, gunned it back at me because they probably could see that I had that deer in the headlight look. And he said, whatever the blank that was, throw it again.
Travis Jankowski is the hitter.
You can fill in the blank.
Let me see. What did he say?
And then Al Oliver was the next hitter, and Tim Wallach was the next hitter, struck him out. And 3 up, 3 down, and I walked off the mound going, what took them so long for them to get me here? And then the next inning, I got knocked out of the game.
Fame is fleeting.
Yep. Took the mound in the second inning with a little different attitude than the first inning. So I actually made the playoff roster that year, and it was pretty interesting just to sit there and watch.
For either one of you, was there a moment even before you got to the ballpark that day, whether it was in Oakland or in Montreal in your case, or you're either in the hotel room, you're on the plane, or wherever it was, where reality kicked in? I am now here.
Yeah, it kicks in that you are now here, but it's everything is moving so fast. Everything seems so new and different, and like, do I really fit in? So it's a different experience.
Jankowski on 2-1. There's Peterson. And of course, this was before Twitter and social media and all of that stuff, and so you were a call-up. And 13 years later, Nomar, when you came up, again, there was none of this instant stuff, and the knowledge of young players, which is now so ever present because it's so available everywhere. Can only imagine what it's like for Corey Seager, who probably saw his name on television on a crawl all day. Corey Seager's been called up, and he's making his major league debut.
I remember when they told me I was coming up, and I was driving home that day,
This is Solarte with a base hit into right. And Norris will hold at second base. And now he'll go to third after it's bobbled by Van Slyke.
Well, let it go as an error on Scott out there because the runner was pulling up at second. Base hit, you think, oh, the runner on first to third, no big deal. But right there, that drop gets him over to third. So he marked that as an E9, and we've got 2 out, and Matt Latos in a jam again.
So a hit and an error.
But I was saying, when I remember when I got called and they told me I was coming up, I remember just thinking first time I probably drove the speed limit in a long time, where I was just like, you're just thinking, please, nothing happen on my way home. Let me just get there. You just want everything to go right because my lifelong dream's about to come true.
Corey Spangenberg, a sacrifice in his first at-bat. The Padres a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the second with runners at the corners. And Spangenberg, who has good speed, Turner throws, and it's not going to be in time. Actually, I thought that Turner was going to eat it for fear that Norris at third base might try to come home at the moment of the throw.
Now, there were 2 things good. One is Justin Turner made a great effort on this ball, and the runner was going down, but also Matt Latos. The fact that he went to third, right when he got that, he went to third, which was kind of moving toward there a little bit, which froze the runner. That's what it was. The runner, I'm surprised the runner didn't come and follow him down because he had room to do that. Well, Matt Latos just kind of went that way. It just froze him.
Well, here's Matt Kemp with the bases loaded. Struck out swinging in his first at-bat. Kemp tied for third in the National League with 85 runs batted in. To go with his 17 home runs. Kemp, like last year, had a better second half than the first half. Grandal with the block saves a run.
It's a really good block, and I think Matt Latos, knowing that he knocked Matt Kemp down in his last at bat, then ended up striking him out, ended up a big strikeout against the Padres and Matt Kemp, and it makes this at bat a lot more personal for Matt Kemp. And I know Latos is thinking he's swinging at this first pitch. If it's a strike, and I'm going to throw a quality pitch, and just kind of overthrew it in the dirt.
What a great stop by Grandal.
Kemp 5 for 11 with the bases loaded this year with 6 career grand slams. Into right center field. That's going to be a base hit. Peterson cuts it off. 2 runs are in. Kemp now has 87 runs batted in, and the Padres have a 4-0 lead.
Look at a scouting report and you're going down the runners, you're thinking Matt Kemp, this is a guy you can't have up there with runners in scoring position. You don't want him beating him and Justin Upton. Well, you have to face him with the bases loaded. You're unable to put the guys away prior to him, and he does a good job taking that ball the other way.
Ian Thomas quickly going to work. In the last 17 games, Dodgers starting pitching had allowed 3 runs or less. Well, in an inning and 2/3, Latos has already given up 4. That is cause for a meeting with his boss, pitching coach Rick Honeycutt.
A lot of guys will say I had good stuff tonight, but I got bombed. But you very rarely hear a guy say I had great location tonight and got hit around. And that's the problem right here with Matt Latos. He's just not locating his pitches consistently. He's making a lot of mistakes up in the middle of the plate. And that's not working out too well right now, and that gets some action, of course, in the Dodger bullpen.
Thomas recently called up. He, a former Atlanta Brave. Tim Wallach and Don Mattingly trying to figure out what to do next. With first and third. Justin Upton doubled to left in his first at-bat. 4 runs and 7 hits already off Latos, who delivers a strike, and it's 0-1.
You know, Monty Grandal's been doing a nice job behind the plate as he knows Matt is making mistakes up. He's given him an extra low target. When the target comes up and he wants it, he's giving him a target almost below the knees to get him down in that range.
Runners at the corners. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike to Upton. Already a rugged night for Latos. 2 strikeouts. A 1-1 Upton. One and 2. Upton has been struck out 136 times. Doubled and scored a run in his first at bat. Jed Jerko is on deck. After 5.5 in Colorado, the Rockies lead the Giants 9-3. One and 2 to Upton. Runner goes inside, throw to second base. Out at second. Grandal with the throw. Kemp is done. So are the Padres, but not before they score 2 more. Yasmani Grandal throws out Matt Kemp. Padres are thinking about requesting a replay. Hey, say the heck with that. So that's the end of the inning, and after 2, 4-0 San Diego. SNLA Data Strong Fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming telecast brought to you by T-Mobile. Matt Latos, pretty good hitting pitcher, 7 out of 23 with a ground ball to short. Jerko, a couple of steps to his left, 1 pitch, 1 out in the 3rd. Well, one of the things we talked about in the Open, how important it was for the Dodgers now with 30 games left in the regular season to keep the foot on the accelerator. Well, so far there's been very little gas.
You know, a lot of times, Norrell, you know this because you're a starter, a starting pitcher sets the tone.
Sure do. And you can go out there and you can give your offense 2-3 innings to get their sights set on the opposing pitcher. Maybe the second time around they start to get you some runs, so it's your job to put a few zeros up there to let your offense get ready. If they're nice enough and locked in enough that they can get the runs early, that's great, and they can set some tone, but it really is the responsibility of the starting pitcher.
Jock Peterson flied to left field in his first at-bat in the leadoff spot tonight. And he squares the bunt. 1 ball, 1 strike.
There's one thing. There's a difference between knowing you're in a big series and these are must-win games, kind of the feeling we had against the Giants. But then after you do something really well like that and you expand the lead, you got to get that kind of like step on their neck kind of attitude. That somebody's down and you're just going to keep them there and you just want to pin them down. So I remember when we were chasing pennants and you get to a point where you've got a little bit of a lead or a little cushion, there is still that intensity. You still have that focus. But you can't get confident if all of a sudden in this game they get a big lead, let's say. Right. Then you start to fall asleep. I think when the game's tied or you're slightly behind, it's easy to keep that focus. It's when all of a sudden you break on top.
2-2 to Jock Peterson. Into right field, and Matt Kemp is there. Peterson hit it right on the sweet spot.
It was better. It's a hang and breaking ball, and he squared it up.
I was thinking the same thing. It's a little bit better. Also, when you're struggling, you got to take the little things that are positive. This one, he squared up. He didn't pull off of it. He stayed on the ball better. You can see his upper body staying over home plate as compared to pulling away from home plate and pulling off of the ball, which allowed him to stay on that breaking ball better, which is definitely a positive.
Chase Utley, who walked in his first at-bat, they have the shift on for him as well. 1 ball, no strikes.
And for me, for Jock, when he's pulling off the ball, it's not only his front shoulder, but his spine angle actually changes. He becomes more upright. And in that one right there, his spine angle stayed right in there. Almost like a golfer when you're coming down from the top of your backswing and you stay in the shot. He really stayed in that swing really well.
So the shift is on for Utley in the infield, and they're straight away for him in the outfield. Jankowski a step or two toward left center. And a strike to Utley. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Chase with his first home run with the Dodgers last night. That was the difference in the ball game. On 1 and 2. Call strike 3. And Colin Ray has struck out 4. And he's retired 6 in a row. 4-0 San Diego. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. So does Sandy Koufax, Fernando Valenzuela, among others, share their fondest memories of historic Dodger Stadium. Don't miss Sports Shrines of LA, Dodger Stadium, this Sunday at 5 o'clock, right here on Sportsnet LA. So Matt Latos trying to settle down after 2 shaky innings, 2 runs and 7 hits. Upton, who was left at the altar when Matt Kemp tried to steal second and was thrown out by Yasmani Grandal, leading it off here in the bottom half of the 3rd.
And I think he did the Dodgers a favor there. You have Matt Latos on the ropes. You have a runner in scoring position. You have Justin Upton at the plate.
Into center field. Peterson's not going to get it, and that one's going to roll to the wall.
That's why.
It's sure looking like Matt Latos' shelf life is reaching the expiration date.
Yeah, we'll probably get a visit from Yasmani Grandal. We might even get a visit from Rick Honeycutt. We're definitely, with Thomas, who was up earlier, it's not going to take him long to get loose. Fastball about thigh high on the inner half. Justin Upton is a very good pull hitter.
Third double of the night off Latos. Upton's got 2 of them. And Jerko, who singled to left, steps in and drove in a run in his first at-bat. So Honeycutt goes to the phone. Chuck Krim at the other end. Latos hit 43 pitches. 8 base hits and 4 runs given up.
Jerko now, and if he can get ready in a hurry, is real close. Brett Walsh, the lefty on deck. You could see a move very quickly here to try and shut down this current rally.
Jerko 10 home runs, 41 runs batted in. Latos freezes Upton. Jerko's retired. Well, that's the first out of the 3rd.
And that ground ball, quick comebacker on this pitch here. Matt Latos makes a nice play, backhanding that, keeping the runner at second. Upton faking him back.
And that ball was solidly hit.
But it might have bought him a batter or two to find his legs.
Brett Wallace bounced to short in his first at bat. 0-1.
Really, the pitching staff and especially the bullpen started to turn around when Don Mattingly started to have shorter hooks with the guys, where it wasn't about this guy's going to pitch the 7th and oh, he'll be our long man, and oh, he's got the 8th, and expecting the pitcher to make it through the inning. Don Mattingly, they got a sense of urgency in just really playing matchup with the lineup and with all the pitchers.
Utley throw to second base and a double play. So Latos catches a break as Utley catches the line drive, and Upton is doubled up at second base. We'll go to the 4th, 4-0 San Diego.
Tonight, Matt Kemp on the right, of course, a San Diego Padre now. 1 for 2 on the evening, but a 2 RBI single for the former Dodger. Of course, these two, the hype of much of the fanfare in the offseason as far as a big trade between the two clubs. You can see their season so far as far as the amount of games played. Pretty similar average. 2 more long balls for Matt Kemp, and of course the RBI is a big factor there. However, Matt Kemp has played 31 more games than Yasmani Grandal, and certainly the Dodgers feel that Grandal was a tremendous addition, guys.
Well, Grandal got off to a good first half and has slowed up in the second half. Matt Kemp got off to a slow start in the first half and has turned it around in the second half of the season. Adrian Gonzalez leading it off for the Dodgers here in the fourth. Struck out swinging in his first at-bat, and he squares to bunt up the third base line with the shift on, and he fouls it off. It's 0-1.
Well, they had a big shift. You got even the one sticking at shortstop. Look how deep he is. Look how open that left side is. And Adrian Gonzalez always thinking, he's like, I'm the leadoff hitter. You're going to give it to me. I'm just trying to get on base.
Turner on deck. Gonzalez rifles it foul up the first base line.
My second take on that also is might be getting ready for some surprise at bats in the playoffs. As you get down, you get to a point in playoff baseball, and that's the Dodgers' goal. Surprising people and being ready to do that is, I think, key. When you could steal a game, steal a possible run.
We've seen Adrian Gonzalez do that though throughout the year.
Yep.
He lets them know you want to keep the defense somewhat honest, and if they're going to give it to you, and like I said, he's thinking I'm supposed to try to find a way to get on right now. I am leading off the inning.
But down on strikes for the second time tonight, and Ray now has 5 strikeouts.
Adrian's first at bat, he got him with the high fastball. Adrian kind of chased the pitch, and here that breaking ball actually faded away from Adrian. Had an awful lot of depth to it for a pitch that faded away from a left-handed hitter. He's really had outstanding stuff compared to what we were told as far as the scouting report on him. It's got to be one of his best games he's pitched this year.
Ray, his 5th big league start, as Turner fouls it off to the right, and it's 0-1. Colin Ray came into the game with an ERA of .595, and the other side hitting .299 against him.
He's had the 2 different fastballs working tonight, the cutter and the 2-seamer that's locked up some left-handed hitters.
Turner takes high and in.
And the breaking ball has been sharp at times, and really hasn't made any mistakes really up in the strike zone like we've seen Matt Latos.
One ball and 1 strike. (9-3) Rockies. They're batting in the bottom of the 7th. So after 3 dramatic wins at Dodger Stadium, or from the Giant point of view, 3 heartbreaking losses, and you have that altitude question up there at Coors Field. Giants are getting lathered, and the Dodgers aren't doing a whole lot better here in the 4th. A 1-out walk to Turner. Second walk given up by Ray.
The Dodger-Giant question was before, it was all about watching them and seeing how they're doing and how the Dodgers doing, and their records seemed to kind of mirror each other, and the Giants were kind of pushing up against the Dodgers there. What the lead fell as low as 1.5 games. Then you play each other and you spread it out. Now you can mirror them the rest of the way if you want. You're going to win the division.
Well, 6.5 games behind. It's that loss column, where the Giants are 7 behind the Dodgers in the loss column. And after tonight, Dodgers will be down to 29 games remaining. Dodgers, who had 94 wins last year, are a game ahead of the pace this year.
So is the magic number what now? 23-ish?
Ish?
Ish? What is the number? We have 29 remaining?
be able to figure that out.
Yes.
If we have to win 15, it's a combination of the wins and the losses.
One ball, one strike, and one out. 1-2. After tonight, 29 games are left.
Yep.
Magic number 24.
24.
So is Ish.
That's what I said.
Yep.
Ish. When in doubt, Ish. On 1-2, Crawford takes high and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Grandal is next. The Nationals took their frustrations out on the Atlanta Braves. 15-1 tonight, and Crawford with a fly ball to right center. Way back there, that is Jankowski.
That ball hung in the air a really long time. Oh, Crawford squared that up, but it just looked like it died as it was going to the outfield. At first, off the bat, it looked like it had a chance to get out there. But it just got underneath it just a little bit too much to stay in the ballpark.
Earlier in the year, in the summer, not as cool. I think that ball travels a little farther. It's starting to cool off here in San Diego.
Perfect 73 degrees at game time tonight. Grandal, a strikeout victim in his first at bat. He had an August that seemingly would never end. He was battered and beaten on foul tips. And it began to affect his batting average. But as he was cooling off, A.J. Ellis was beginning to heat up. Grandal on the year, 15 home runs, 44 runs batted in. At the All-Star break, Grandal had 14 home runs and 36 runs batted in. So he's had 1 home run and 8 RBIs since. On 1-2, the runner goes, call strike 3, throw to second base. And Turner is out by a goodly sum. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. San Diego 4-0. September the 16th, the first 40,000 fans at Dodger Stadium receive a bobblehead of two-time Silver Slugger Award winner Fernando Valenzuela, presented by State Farm. For tickets, go to Dodgers.com/promotions. And he ain't a bad golfer either.
We used to have the pitchers' games during pitchers' batting practice, and Mark Cressy, our bullpen coach, would prop himself up on the back of the cage, and Fernando would have one team, and I would one team on the other side, and we'd go toe-to-toe, and Cressy be the umpire on balls and strikes, but also when the balls are put in play because there were no fielders out there. And even he was tough to beat in the pitchers' game, too.
Derek Norris leads off for the Padres. Here in the bottom half of the fourth, Latos delivers a strike, and it's 0-1.
You starting pitchers always trying to find ways to amuse yourself.
Or kill time.
Right? I mean, come on.
Well, the first
like,
15, 20 minutes, we worked on our bunting, and then we got to have a little reward.
The 0-1. Fouled off to the right and out of play. 0-2 to Derek Norris, who singled and scored a run in his first at-bat.
We let the relievers join us.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. We didn't hog the whole time.
So the relievers got the last inning, basically.
Yeah, they got in there.
0-2 to Norris. And he is down on strikes. That's a third strikeout for Latos. And the first out of the fourth inning. Colin Ray stepping in. His strikeout victim in his first at bat. 2 for 7 since his call up. They've gone to the 8th in Denver, and the Rockies 9-3 over the Giants. Latos delivers a strike, and it's 1-1. Travis Jankowski is on deck.
Probably going to be Matt Latos' last inning. He's the third hitter for the Dodgers next inning.
Into right, racing over is Van Slyke with room. Joel Peralta is warming up in the Dodger pen. As Oral mentioned, Latos due to hit third in the 5th. And if that should work that way out, Latos will not have gone 5 innings in his last 4 starts, including tonight. Travis Jankowski fouls it off, 0-1. Jankowski's been in the big leagues about 2 weeks. Easy play for Gonzalez. And an easy inning. First one for Latos. We'll go to the 5th. Padres 4 and the Dodgers 0.
looking for his first major league hit on his major league debut. When I spoke to him earlier today, I asked him what he was working on this season. He said, to my defense, I'm working on the foot speed, getting better angles, better to the ball, and working on transfers. Didn't get any sleep last night after he found out about 1:30 this morning that he got the call up, got on a 10 o'clock flight. His parents, Jeff and Jody, are here. He said, if I need to have any questions about this game, I'll just call my big brother Kyle, guys.
And Kyle has done pretty darn well for himself, his first All-Star appearance. Mom and Dad, they've been through this before.
They have.
How great is that?
And it's always nice, though, too. You can have a resource like your big brother to kind of call and say, what's it like, and bounce things off of. But even though, no matter what, how much you can talk to them, still can't get you ready for what you're going to feel, the nerves and the anxiety, the excitement, all of the above when you finally get to the big leagues.
Meanwhile, Van Slyke bounced to short in his first at-bat. Low and outside corner. He didn't like that call at all from Adam Hamari. Steps out of the batter's box and knocks the dirt from his shoes with a fair degree of frustration. Andre Ethier, his knee is barking. He went off the leg the other day. Into right center, and that's Jankowski. When Seager first signed with the Dodgers, he was taken around Dodger Stadium, and it came into the booth and all of that stuff. And he was asking all the right questions about how you guys broadcast, what you do. He was so incredibly receptive, respectful. He swings and misses nothing in one. And he obviously came from great parents. And his brother, of course, has helped pave the way for him. And this, to this point, the biggest night of his young professional life. And there's his first big league base hit. Into the right field corner, and he will arrive at second base with a stand-up double. Corey Seager's first big league hit, a double to right.
In his first at-bat and in this at-bat, there was a good slider on the inner half that he swung through or swung over, thrown by Colin Ray. And as a hitter, you're thinking, okay, well, that pitch is getting me. I should lay off it. But he still had confidence to stay on it because this ball had the same spin. It was supposed to be the same type of pitch. Didn't break as much. But he stays on it better, gets the barrel out to the ball, and drives it to right field. And yes, of course you got to be excited. First hit. Like you said, it looks like they've been here before because they already had it with the older brother, but at the same time.
I know, they didn't stand up.
I know. Well, they're like, we know.
The ball is in. Stan Conti and Nancy Patterson Flynn will be guarding it with their lives, and Matt Latos is out of the game as Scott Schebler is pinch hitting for him and advancing Seager to third. So Mom and Dad are here, Alana.
Well, I talked to both of them earlier today, Charlie, and asked them, I said, you've been through this before. Doesn't mean that this makes it any less special. They said, we really wish that he would have had the opportunity to be called up at home at Dodger Stadium. Kyle was also called up in Anaheim, not in Seattle. They both said it was just a tremendous opportunity for them to be here with Corey. Obviously, very proud Mom and Dad.
I remember when the Dodgers first drafted Corey Seager, and we're up in Seattle playing the Mariners in the middle of the summer. As Jock Peterson steps in, the shift is on with 2 out. And I was talking to one of the Mariner executives and said, well, tell me all about Kyle Seager, because I was curious about Corey Seager. And he said, your Seager is better than our Seager. That was 3 years ago. We'll see how that all pans out. But here's Kyle, who's signed a mega contract with the Mariners at the All-Star game this year, and Corey Seager at third base after his first big league hit.
When parents have had their second big leaguer come to the big leagues? When you get interviewed and there's a caveat about where the young man was called up to. We wish it would have been at a home game.
Location.
I mean, my parents, I got to call up to Montreal.
Doesn't matter where it is.
They didn't complain.
Yes, they're up. And we see it again with this shift. Every time they get like 2 strikes on the left-handed batter with the shift, you see Solarte go to second base, over to that second base side.
0-2, and look at the size of the lead for Seager, because he can. When you've got Jerko all the way over, now he's going to come in and talk with Ray. Seager can go halfway to the plate.
Yep.
And the old adage is you go 1 step shorter than the furthest distance from where the shortstop or third baseman is. So you see all that space he can take. And Jerko is a million miles away.
He really has to take 1 step shorter than the pitcher.
On 1-2. Ooh. Let's hope he's okay. Seager comes in to score on the RBI hit by Jock Peterson. So Seager scores his first big league run. Peterson with the RBI. And now Pat Murphy, and then the trainer for the Padres coming out.
Can't really decipher where he gets hit.
No, but the good thing is it wasn't in the face.
Yep.
He looks like he's going to okay. So that's first and foremost. But on the other side, 1, Seager scores, but 2, I really like Jock Peterson's at bat there, staying on the ball once again and taking it back up the middle. I mean, that was a nice hit by Jock Peterson.
In conference with Angel Hernandez and Davey Lopes.
I mean, you got to give Colin Ray kudos there, too. After he gets hit by that ball, a hard line drive comebacker, he didn't give up. He tried to make the play. Went after the ball over there down the first base. Tried to throw him out. But for Jock Peterson so far, 2 good at-bats in this game. That line driving is the last at-bat to right field, and then that one.
When you get hit like this and you're a pitcher, the adrenaline rushes through your body and you feel like you continue, and you do. But where it sets in is once you go sit down in between innings.
So don't sit down.
Yeah. That's when the stiffness comes.
Now Chase Utley coming up. And Corey Seager and his Oklahoma City teammate Scott Schebler. Liking these digs a little bit better than OKC. As well they should. On Tuesday night, they played in a 19-inning, 5-hour, and 44-minute first game of a doubleheader.
And it was always comfortable when you got called up, at least when I did, to get called up with a few of your teammates. To have those guys that you can sit there and, be excited with, of all the new things that are happening.
So if you go out the wrong door, at least you go out the wrong door together.
Exactly, and it's like what they learn on a daily basis and what you learn, you can trade information. Instead of asking the embarrassing question to a clubhouse attendant or a veteran on the team or your pitching coach, your hitting coach, you've got somebody else to kind of like, did you find out, where to do the passes, and did you understand the computer and how to leave them? And you just have those conversations to kind of grow together.
How much do I tip the clubhouse guy?
Right.
You're not the only new kid in class.
Yep.
0-2 to Utley.
Yeah, I found it very helpful. One is to have spring training in the big league, so at least you're familiar with some of the guys, and that's a different atmosphere. So they know who you are a little bit at spring training, and then when you get called up, they're familiar with you. And I also had Aaron Seeley, who I had befriended even before that. We even roomed together at spring training. So when I got called up, I could ask him all of those embarrassing questions.
Peterson goes into right center field for a base hit. Peterson is rounding third, and he is on his way home. Arriving at second base with a double is Utley. The Dodgers are back in the game. It is San Diego 4 and the Dodgers 2. So Utley with the big home run last night drives in a run here in the 5th tonight.
2 back-to-back good at-bats. Jock Peterson stays on the breaking ball, drives it back up the middle. Chase Utley does the exact same thing on that breaking ball in the outer half, stays with it, and drives it to right center. It's good that Jock was running on the pitch, so allows him to score easily.
And now the Dodgers beginning to get to Ray the 3rd time around. Despaigne is now beginning to warm in the Padre bullpen. Gonzalez, a tying run at the plate, takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Giants failed to score in the top of the 8th in Colorado. The Rockies are putting the wood to them. It is 9-3. 0-1 to Gonzalez. 79 runs batted in. Ground ball, backhanded at first by Wallace. Underhanded flip to Ray covering, and that'll do it. But Corey Seager's first big league hit, a double, scores his first big league run. There's Seager's hit. He'd be knocked in by Peterson, and then Utley would knock home Jock. And it is 4-2 after 4.5 from San Diego. California Toyota dealers. Now at Toyota's annual clearance event, get amazing deals on every new Toyota. Joel Peralta is now on in relief for the Dodgers. First time he's pitching at the big league level in nearly a month. He has had a pain in the neck most of the year. He's had 3 rehab assignments. Last pitch last Sunday. And he will be facing the top of the order for the Padres in the bottom half of the 5th. And the Dodgers, with 2 in the top half of the inning, have gotten right back into the game. Yangervis Solarte, 2 for 2 and 2 runs scored. Latos, 4 runs and 8 hits in 4 innings. 1 ball and no strikes to Yangervis Solarte. He's had a really solid season for San Diego. As Peralta misses outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
And you have a stiff neck, and it just prevents you from doing everything to your capabilities. You feel like you can pitch, you feel like you can do everything, but just can't do it to the highest level. And when you can't extend with your arm and really finish your pitches, everything seems to be up and everything seems to be flat. And Joel's such a tough guy that he pitched through it for a long time, but then really his effectiveness just went south, and they had to take the time to heal up.
2 balls and a strike. Spangenberg on deck and Kemp to follow. We're in the bottom of the 5th. There's a strike. Solarte came over a year ago from the Yankees in a deal that would send Chase Headley to New York. And Solarte has been very solid for San Diego all year. Switch hitter. Peralta on 2-2. Deep down the right field line, but foul. That had plenty of home run distance. Solarte turned 28 in July. And there is Peralta at the ripe old age of 39. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And we'll do it again. Dodgers and Padres again tomorrow night. First pitch about 10 past 7. Mike Bolsinger is back, and he'll be facing James Shields. Alex Wood will pitch for the Dodgers on Saturday against Tyson Ross. Brett Anderson on Sunday against Andrew Kashner. The 2-2 way outside and high.
You wonder, the Dodgers have enough pitching. Well, you've got 6 guys in the rotation right now. If the rotation stays that way, I don't think it's going to, but they're slipping Bolsinger in there. And then you've got an 11-man bullpen. So there's plenty of reinforcements for Rick Honeycutt and Don Mattingly.
So a full count to Solarte as we begin the bottom of the 5th. Into right. Van Slyke at the wall. First down of the 5th inning. Which raises a general question, and we raise it every year on September the 1st. You play with 25 guys all year, one way, strategically. Now all of a sudden in the last month you can bring in the Marines, and it changes fundamentally how a game is managed, how it's played, and for teams who are involved in a playoff chase as opposed to teams who are not, somehow it does not seem to be a level playing field. And what, if anything, can or should be done about it? Corey Spangenberg's about it.
One suggestion I've had is that, and people around baseball we talk about it, so I don't know if it's my original idea, but we've talked about it, is you can expand the rosters and the guys can come up, but at the beginning of the game, name your 25. And you have to make a caveat or some kind of rule, though, about your starting pitchers.
Spangenberg, 2 balls, no strikes.
Yeah, because you can just say, okay, I'll name my 25, just that starting pitcher, and then fill more players.
We would take Bolsinger, Greinke, Kershaw, Wood, all those guys out of that active 25 on that day. Right. That Latos is pitching. But I think if they're in your rotation also, I think you have to figure out a rule there also that they would have to miss their next start if you pulled them out, so then they have to stay in there. There should be a penalty if you did that.
2 balls and a strike to Spangenberg, a sacrifice and an infield hit. It is 2 plate appearances, 1 out of the bottom of the 5th. Peralta on in relief of Latos.
It still would give you the ability to bring up the young guys, to have the reinforcements here, but just at least narrow down the roster for that particular game. The next day, those guys that were traveling with you, you kind of open it up to have a taxi squad with you.
Into center field, and Peterson is there. Now let me raise this question. What if they didn't do anything? Here's your 25, and this is how we played for 5 months. Why must we alter September?
Yeah, I think that's obviously another argument. I think they want to expand because the expansion was obviously to get some of the young guys, your future, an opportunity to get what the big leagues may feel like to come up here, and which I think is great because I know from my development that was obviously helpful for me to just get a taste of it that last month prior to the next season and getting called up. So I think there is definitely something to that.
Matt Kemp 1 for 2, singled in 2 in the 2nd. Lines on 1 hop to Seager. It's simple, didn't it? Nothing across. We will go to the 6th. Turner, Crawford, and Grandal will be coming up. The Dodgers trailing 4-2. When the Dodgers host the Rockies and pick up your Eric Gagne pin, the 7th in the Cy Young Pin Collector Series, presented by 76. For more information, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. New pitcher for the Padres as Ray went 5, 2 runs and 4 hits. Despaigne is making his 29th appearance. He's relieved. An ERA that has been creeping northward as the season has gone on, and opponents are hitting .278 against him. Meanwhile, even during the commercial break, we were talking about the pros and cons of adding to that 25-man roster all the way up to 40 if you're so inclined. Is it a good thing or isn't it? Why is it, let's pick up where we left off, why is it a good thing for baseball? It's good for the players, it's good for management and all that. Why is it good and why is it not?
I think on the players' side, they love gathering big league time, towards their pension and the big league salary, and getting exposed to it and learning the big league lifestyle, even if they truly in their heart don't think they're part of the active roster and they're really an integral part. Just getting up here and getting exposed to the life, it's further development. And I think on management side, it also gives you a good look at your youngsters. If you're going to have to know you have a hole at shortstop or a hole in center field, and you're going to be making a move in the offseason, either a trade or a large free agent signing, but you also want to know, is my youngster ready? And it gives them a chance to take a look at the guys.
And what is it about the old baseball adage, never put all your stock in what you see in a player in March or September?
And you're so right.
So it's one of those where there are fairly interesting arguments on both sides, but at the end of the day, for a level playing field in terms of competition,
it's definitely creates an unfair playing field. And I mean, now you could,
Turner with a ground ball base hit into right to begin the 6th.
I mean, now you see teams, Dodgers included, as going, well, maybe we just need a guy, we'll just prep him for September just in case we need a stolen base. Yeah. Just for a pinch run situation only. We'll never see the field, we'll never get in at bat, but just to run.
Leave your glove at home.
Yes, and there's managers who are managing the game, and you're trying to make decisions, and you're having to look at, well, they have a list of all of these guys. Here's who they can put in. Here's the matchups. Here's the pitching I have to adjust to nonstop. So it definitely affects the game.
Crawford is a tying run at the plate, takes outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Has doubled and flied to center. Grandal on deck. Despaigne set at the belt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Naturally, a young player would rather be here than there. That's the whole idea.
Well, and a lot of times too, they get called up in September because the minor league season is over.
Mm-hmm. Jock Peterson called up late last year. And Seager arrives tonight. Into left field for a base hit. So you want to swing over the other way for me, says Crawford. Thank you. I'll go the other way. And the Dodgers have first and second and nobody out.
Carl Crawford's been swinging the bat really well since he's come off the DL. And whenever he's getting an opportunity to play, recognizing that, taking advantage of it. The other night when he started, he hit the ball hard 3 times, just on the nose. So far today, he's hit the ball really well. That double, the first at bat, he flew out to center, deep to center field, and that single going the other way.
Randall takes one in the dirt. So Turner, the leadoff single to right, is at second. Carl Crawford is at first. Crawford coming into the game in his last 21 was hitting .327, and tonight he's 2 for 3. So he's heating up at the right time. Grandaldo's been struck out twice tonight. Was hitless in 3 at-bats last night. 2 balls and no strikes. Despaigne, his 29th appearance and his 12th out of the bullpen. And the Dodgers have the tying runs aboard. 3-0 to Grandal.
The Padres have been thinking a lot of Despaign's trouble has been coming from the fact that he shakes a lot and he's trying to think too much out there. They're trying to get him to the point where he just gets back on the rubber and gets a sign and goes. And no shaking allowed. Follow the catcher and just commit to the pitch.
A 4-pitch walk, and the Dodgers have the bases loaded, and they're playing with house money now as the Rockies have routed the Giants 11-3 in Denver tonight. Pat Murphy with that Mount Rushmore jaw. With a long, slow walk. Seems like he's humming the Executioner's song. Mark Zipchinski is on his way in. The lefty to face Van Slyke and then Seager when we come back. On the July 31st trade deadline, in 45 appearances with Cleveland, 2-3 and a 4.43 ERA. He has given up 6 runs and 7 hits in 8 innings since coming to San Diego. And the Dodgers here with a glorious opportunity to get back into this game. They trail 4-2. The bases are loaded, nobody out in the 6th. Van Slyke and then Seager are coming up. So Turner began the inning with a single to right. Crawford would single to left, and then Grandal would take a 4-pitch walk. So they've got the bases loaded and nobody out. Van Slyke 0 for 2. Slowly hit to third. Solarte has only one play, and that's to first. In to score is Turner on the fielder's choice. An RBI for Van Slyke is 23rd. Dodgers now have second and third with one out. They pulled to within one. San Diego 4-3.
Gets the job done. Scott Van Slyke won't like the half swing and the broken bat, but the Dodgers get some free passes to set the table, and we'll take it.
And now here's Corey Seager, who has doubled and scored a run in his first 2 big league at-bats. He's got second and third with one man out. Jerko and Spangenberg are back. Solarte at third, Wallace at first, even with the bag. And Seager takes the ball. So Corey Seager's had his first base hit, his first run scored, now looking for his first RBI on his first day and night in the big leagues. Lefty against lefty. Way outside. 2 balls and no strikes. So Zepchinski, the third Padre pitcher of the night, the second of the inning. Crawford is at third. Grandal at second. Low and outside. 3 balls and no strikes to Corey Seager. Justin Ruggiano in the on-deck circle to pinch hit for the Dodgers. Pedro Baez next on Don Mattingly's dance card. Into center field for a base hit. In to score is Crawford. Grandal's on his way home. Seager's going to go to second on the throw, and the Dodgers take the lead 5-4. How about that?
Well, I love the fact that they trusted the young kid coming up in his major league debut. It's 3-0. Go ahead and get the green light and swing the bat. You have 2 guys in scoring position. He gets a ball in the inner half. He fights it off, hits it to center field for the 2 RBI single. That's great. Now that'll make them stand up.
Yeah, it keeps his head about him because he saw the cutoff throw. He kept playing the game. He wasn't just celebrating himself. Saw the throw going over the head of the cutoff man and took the extra base.
So Corey Seager, quite a debut, huh? 2 for 3, runs scored, and a couple of RBIs. And now Ruggiano to pinch hit. Outside corner for a strike, 0-1. That was a thing most for me, or you were talking about the field awareness of Seager. Watching the play unfold, as soon as he saw that the cutoff man was going to be badly missed and the throw was up the third base line, he was off to second base without breaking stride. Into left field for a base hit for Ruggiano. Seager is on his way home. Here's a throw to the plate, and he beats it with a head-first slide. Corey Seager, how do you do? Wow.
That was impressive because he had the freeze on this hard hit ball by Ruggiano. He didn't get a good jump because he didn't know if the ball was going to be caught on the infield, so you freeze on that line drive. So then once the ball went back to shortstop, then he had to get things going. It was also a great read by Ron Renicky over there at third base. So he was watching. See how he had to take a step back because he knew that ball had a possibility of being caught. And Ron Renicky trusted his speed and was waving the hand in. Another good read by Ruggiano as well. Following the play, knowing there was going to be a play at home and getting to second base.
A 4-run sixth for the Dodgers, and right in the middle of it was Corey Seager. Scores 1, drives in 2. He's 2 for 3 tonight.
He's over there on the bench catching his breath, and there's nothing better than a little fatigue to get rid of all butterflies. He's playing baseball now.
Or a couple RBIs.
That'll help
and
too.
a score in the run and high fives from all the veteran players that are going, great job, young buck. Yeah. That'll do it.
And he's wearing your number, for goodness sakes.
He's making the number proud.
There you go. So Seager takes a called third strike in his first at-bat. And that was... got that out of the way. A single, a double, 2 runs scored, and 2 RBIs. That smile can illuminate all of Southern California. Peterson is 1 for 3 and a run scored. Zaczynski deals. Swing and a miss. 2-2 to Peterson. Still only 1 out, 4 in here in the 6th. Chase Utley is on deck. Despaigne faces 3 batters. They all 3 of them scored. A walk and 2 base hits. So his line is done. And Peterson pops it up. Brett Wallace leaning in and making the catch. Chase Utley on his way up. Utley tonight has doubled and driven in a run. He's also walked. Chase with a home run last night, an RBI tonight. Utley 1 home run, 3 runs batted in with the Dodgers. With Ruggiano leading off second, Utley takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Well, for a couple of years, fans have been hearing about Corey Seager. We got a chance to watch him a fair amount in spring training, and you watch numbers and stuff on YouTube and all that. Now, with fans able to actually eyeball the work of young Mr. Seager in his Dodger debut, now they're having that aha moment why the Dodgers were. He wasn't going to be traded to anybody.
Yeah, it's quite a debut. But we said at the beginning of the game, we opened with him signing autographs over the railing to some fans, and they were all clamoring for pictures of him, and there was a lot, 50, 100 people around him, and there was no break in sight. And we said, it's a day he's going to remember. Well, he made it extra memorable.
On 0-2, Utley fouls it off.
I was really impressed that they, by Don Mattingly, wanting him to swing away 3-0 or allowing them to swing 3-0. A lot of times, I mean, get a young kid getting called up, major league debut. You're like, all right, we're trying to battle back here. If he walks, its base is loaded. 3-0 count. This thing, all right, I believe in you. And coming through.
Don Mattingly was a great left-handed hitter himself. He knows what that left-on-left situation is. That 3-0 pitch, you don't want to see that takes on. Finally get the first straight one, you might get this hit.
So So the Dodgers with 4 here in the 6th inning. Not a bad career average, huh? One and 2. Ruggiano, decent speed at second. Utley takes low and outside. And Joel Peralta, who hadn't pitched in a month, right now is on the winning side of the ledger. And the Giants have lost. On 2 and 2. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So at the moment, a little past 9 o'clock in San Diego, all is right in Dodgerland.
Sure is, and there have been points in the season where we have gotten to this point, and then you worry about, you know, that rickety bridge to Kenley Jansen. But this bullpen has really started to turn it on. So there's a lot of confidence down there behind the fence in the Dodger bullpen.
Dodgers have won 8 of their last 9, including the last 4 in a row. 3 and 2. Utley, little numbered. This is going to be a tough play for Zabczynski. He throws, and it gets past Wallace. In to score is Ruggiano. Utley will go now to third base. I repeat, all is right in Dodgerland.
Well, Chase Utley smelled this out of the box, and he hustled all the way. And we were always worried about how's that ankle look coming off the DL from Philly. Trade him over here. Is he going to hold up? Well, he has been tested. His wheels have been tested, but he shows confidence with the explosion out. When this ball gets away, his head is up, and he breaks down there, and he cuts second base in a way that he knows he wants to go to third. And look, immediately making that cut. Now he's coaching himself. He's not trying to pick up Ron Renicky. He goes, I know where the ball is. I seal the fielder. I'll get over there.
And Gonzalez with a fly ball to center, where Jankowski is there to make the catch. Dodgers come up with 5 in the 6th, and right in the middle of the action, Corey Seager. He singled, and then he would come around to score on the Ruggiano double with a head-first slide. Bon Pa Seager standing and loving their kid. Again tomorrow at 7 o'clock as we have a look at the Dodger calendar presented by 76. Saturday at 5:30. Sunday a matinee at 1. And then the Dodgers play in Anaheim Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday nights. Thursday an off day next weekend. The Dodgers will be in Arizona. So the Dodgers come up with 2 in the 5th and 5 in the 6th. And it's been Corey Seager night tonight in his Major League debut. He's 2 for 3, 2 runs scored, and 2 RBIs, and Pedro Baez now on in relief.
Pedro Baez, part of the bullpen resurgence. Luis Avilan has been outstanding from the left side. Of course, J.P. Howell. We've seen the other guys, especially Chris Hatcher, start to turn it on. The last 26 2/3 innings, the bullpen has continued to mow them down, only giving up 2 runs over that time.
Hatcher turned in those 3 great innings in the Monday Night Marathon as the Dodgers beat the Giants 5-4. Johnson pitched 2 innings, and Hatcher pitched the final 3. Justin Upton. There's Hatcher and Kenley Jansen. And the Dodgers have at the moment a glide in their stride. 1 ball, 1 strike to Upton. Upton has a couple of doubles tonight, a run scored and an RBI. 7 runs, 9 hits for the Dodgers. 4 runs, 8 hits for the Padres. 2-1. And a perfect inning turned in by Joel Peralta. 13 pitches, 8 strikes, and at the moment he's on the winning side of the ledger. Upton is 3 for 3.
So here's that all-important shutdown inning. You really start to put the Padres in the rearview mirror, and you want to come out there and have a clean inning. Now Pedro's going to have to pitch around that 3rd Upton hit.
Here's Judd Jerko. Judd out of West Virginia. And the Padres are kind of hoping he can morph into a shortstop. He's been a second baseman his whole life. And the thinking behind that is that now that there are more shifts on and shortstops have less responsibility, a shortstop can move to the second base side, for instance, with a left-handed batter on. You look at a Johnny Peralta, who's having a great year in St. Louis, and he's never been that fleet of foot at the position. But now with sabermetrics and the fine-tuning of defenses, a guy that may not necessarily have the greatest lateral movement that was so important, for instance, for you, Nomar, when you played. They are now beginning to think that Jerko can be a Peralta type here. You buy into that?
Nope.
Okay.
In that position, you still need to be you need to be an athlete over there at short. For the most part, you're going out there, you still have to have the athletic movements or shortstop movements, the understanding there. You're still kind of you're the captain of the infield, all of those things. I mean, just because there's a shift here and there, you still got to be able to turn to in awkward positions if you have the shift over there. So
I think we have firsthand evidence also with Hanley Ramirez last year. We saw his limited range from the minor injuries that he had. Even though he could play, we saw that he really didn't get a good first step a lot of times. He really couldn't. When he had to reach for a ball, it was hard for him to get his legs back underneath him to get the throw. And I understand the thinking that a lot of times now the shortstop is going to have a helper over there come with him, or he's going to go to the other side and go help somebody else. But I still think the ball's going to find you.
Mm-hmm. And then what do you do when you have certain pitchers where you're going, and we've seen it obviously here. Look, you had Kershaw early on, and they had to shift on for him, and they're going, wait, we shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
And they stopped doing it. So what are you going to say? Oh, well, you know what? Now that we stopped doing it, we need a different shortstop now and change it because we're not shifting because he's pitching.
It's been a long time also since the Padres have had a real elite shortstop. So they're trying to figure out how to plug that hole. Slowly hit to short. Seager. to Utley, to Gonzalez.
What? He called him safe. They called him safe at second base. He said he's off second.
And you can't.
You see Utley's look?
Oh, what? This is one of those what they call the neighborhood play where you're going, okay.
He was all over the bag.
Yeah. And the look on Utley's face is when he was talking to
He has his front foot on the bag.
Upton.
His front foot's on the bag, and then he steps off.
But you know what? Even if it wasn't, this is one of those plays that they even say you can't even review because it's neighborhood play, shouldn't be an issue unless it's the ball is thrown off or pulls them off or isn't a perfect throw. Everything was perfect about that.
Exactly.
Of course, the neighborhood play is not reviewable. But this is just a
blown
call.
If you're calling him safe because he wasn't on the bag, then this should be reviewable. Because then you're pretty much saying it's not a neighborhood play, he's just off the bag.
And this is what has got Mattingly so incensed.
Well, if they're saying he wasn't on the bag, you probably could review it. Because the reason they don't want it reviewed is because they want to protect the middle infielders.
Right.
Ted Barrett, the crew chief, now coming over. And Mattingly said, he blew the call.
Go to huddle up the umpires. You tell them you blew the call, and then let one of the other umpires say, yes, he had his foot on the bag. You can call him out now.
Chris Conroy, the second base umpire. Ted Barrett, who used to be an amateur prize fighter. Well, here, have a look. There's 1 foot.
It's on it.
Yep.
That's Chase's style, too. He has some very unconventional ways to work around the bag, but they work for him, and they seem to be even more efficient than most second basemen.
Well, a neighborhood play, which is supposed to be not reviewable, is about to be reviewed.
Because this is what's funny, is if you call him out, I guarantee you that Pat Murphy's not even questioning or coming out of there saying he was off the bag or could even argue that because it's a neighborhood play. And now that was just a bad call.
Well, they're showing it on the big screen here, and they're showing the foot come off, but they're not showing the exchange of the ball, that it's already been in his glove and he's pulling it out. Of course, the foot comes off the bag. But it is absolutely terrible. It's completely opposite of why they
exactly. This is just I don't. Even though the reviewer, I don't care what the call is. If he's out or safe, it's just a bad call. Look at that. Look at the look.
I rest my case, Your Honor.
Yes, that tells it. That says it all right there.
The witness may step down from the stand.
This is just bad. Period. The fact that we're even wasting time on this is just bad. That he would even call him safe there.
Now Pat Murphy's going to go out and talk to Adam Hamari, the home plate umpire. I didn't think that's a reviewable call.
Yeah, Pat Murphy's probably saying, listen, it was a bad call. I get it, but he's right. It is a good question. Like, how can you review that?
There's a way to skirt around we can review this by calling this a force play instead of a neighborhood play, even though it's at second base.
Well, the whole idea of replays is to get it right.
I'm sorry, when I see that, I see him. He's out.
Yeah.
Justin Upton's look was priceless.
That's all you need to know.
Oh, my goodness.
He's so out, it's not even funny.
Oh, my goodness. That is awful. They called him safe. Like I said, awful. This is going to change the whole neighborhood play then. You've got to be kidding me. You're going to get someone hurt because of that call right there.
The entire Dodger bench all over Ted Barrett. Somebody's going to go real soon.
We don't want A.J. Ellis. Clayton, you went 132 pitches, 95 strikes. You can get kicked out tonight.
That's embarrassing. I'm sorry. That's embarrassing for umpires and everything along. That's awful.
So Upton is at second base, looking skyward. Jerko is out at first base. And Brett Wallace is the batter. Who are you going to believe, me or your lion eyes?
Yeah, that's just bad.
6 to 4 to 3, 1 out.
A blown call at second base.
I was going to compliment Corey Seager and still can on how quickly he got chased the ball and how with very little anxiety the ball barely touched his glove and he got it to him at the perfect height.
Yeah, everything
in
was
the
done.
right
Everything
spot.
was done right on that play. The only thing that was done wrong was the umpire.
Chris Conroy.
They looked like they had played together as long as Rollins and Utley.
All I'm saying is Chris Conroy is going to get somebody hurt out there.
Yep.
A ball, a strike, in and out. Wallace.
Especially read his lips correctly when he was talking to Don Mattingly. He said, "I blew the call."
And it's very simple. Is you can just go get for help. You don't even have to replay it and just say, "Well,
just
I got
huddle
help."
up.
Go huddle up. You got your third base. That's why they're all over Ted Barrett too. He could have just said, "Yeah, he was on the bag. Call him out." That's it. Done it.
Conroy says, "I had a bad angle on his front foot, guys. What'd you see?" Yeah, his front foot was on the bag. All right, good. Let's call him out.
And if they do, I guarantee you he would have come out. Pat Murphy would have had to come out just to make sure and talk, but it would have been a quick explanation and gone back in.
Yeah.
But we would not have had the priceless Justin Upton reaction.
It's true.
I think we still would have had the reaction. It's the fact that he was still there, that he couldn't believe he was called. That was reaction because he couldn't believe he was called safe in the first place. Jeez.
And the whole Dodger bench, when the replay was confirmed as safe, went nuts. And you know the umpires didn't kick anybody out because they know they're wrong. So they allowed that.
Yeah.
Allowed a reaction. I mean, A.J. Ellis was up on the top steps pointing almost on the field. And Clayton was at the top of his lungs.
Well, Wallace is going to stay around for another pitch. Just foul tipped it and stayed alive. What I wonder was the message from New York that Conroy and Barrett were listening.
Yeah, that's the other thing. How'd they miss it, too?
Either
My
they missed it,
goodness.
we got to figure out how do we get out of this.
It's probably going to
mess?
be a call stands. There wasn't enough to overturn it. Really? How about just a bad call, period, and overturn it? You don't even need to look at it.
I called Justin Upton to the stand.
Answer the red phone and say, yeah, just seriously, just turn it. You're wrong. Oops.
Best reaction of the year, Justin Upton.
So we got that going for him.
Derek Norris on deck. Dodgers 7-4 in the bottom half of the sixth. And now Grandal's going to go out and talk to Baez. And all that time kind of may have knocked Baez out of his rhythm a bit. Only 4 other games tonight in the bigs. Most important to the Dodgers. Colorado routed the Giants 11-3 in Denver. Carlos Gonzalez, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs. What a second half he has had. A 1-2 to Wallace, 2-2. LeMahieu had 3 hits. Arenado a home run. Chris Rusin, a complete game in Colorado. That's worthy of a banner headline. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Dodgers with 2 in the 5th and 5 in the top of the 6th. And the 2-2 to Wallace. Slowly hit Seager with an easy play. Upton goes to third, and there's 2 out.
Conversation continues.
Yeah. I think Corey Seager was probably going to go touch. See, look I'll touch the bag just to make sure on that play. Even though it's not a play. Oh.
You get the sense Utley doesn't want to hear about it.
No, he's probably going, what am I supposed to do now on a double play?
Derek Norris with 2 out.
I'd be the point if I was Chase Utley. Say, I dare you, because I'm going to keep doing it that way, and I dare you to call him safe again.
Norris Struck out in the 4th inning and singled to left and scored a run in the 2nd inning. Clint Barm is on deck to pinch hit. Should Norris keep the inning alive? 0-1. Norris. No balls, 2 strikes. So we told you the Rockies won, routed the Giants. Kansas City keeps winning, and the Tigers keep losing. 15-7, the Royals win. Milwaukee beats the Pirates. 0-2. Here's the pitch. And the White Sox beat the Twins. So a limited schedule around the bigs. Ours is the only one left. On a night when Corey Seager introduces himself to the Major League Baseball world in a big way. 2 for 3, a single, a double, 2 runs scored, and 2 RBIs. Now the 0-2 to Derek Norris.
Oh, what a good pitch right there by Pedro Baez. That was a good pitch.
It was an excellent pitch. That's where you got to trust your catcher. If he thinks it's a strike, he'll do the arguing for you.
Now Norris steps out. Norris got off to the great start, and slowly as the year has worn on, his average has worn down. Baez 21st pitch of the inning. Drilled into the left field corner. It is fair, and in to score is Upton. Norris is on his way to second with the double, his second hit of the night. It is now 7-5.
I think that's why I wanted that last pitch to be called a strike so bad, because Pedro Baez doesn't deserve to have a run scored on here in this inning.
That's more salt in the wound of the Dodgers from the bad call at second base. I think even the umpires wanted the Dodgers to get out of this inning without giving up a run.
Well, the home plate umpire had an opportunity. Could have called that pitch before a strike.
Now Honeycutt's going to go out and try to settle down Baez.
Yeah, that's his run. See, they should tally how many runs the umpires get.
That's an extra sensitive call for you, Nomar, because that's your livelihood out there around that bag.
That's why it bothers me so much. That's why it bothers me so much.
Yep.
Because especially, your second base, a middle infielder, when they're coming in, there are times when you're blind. The whole point about allowing the neighborhood play to be called and not reviewed is for the safety of the infielders out there, and they make that call. That is so bad of a call. That is still a priceless look. But that's why
it's the only thing humorous about the call.
Yeah, but that's why it bothers me so much.
The umpires are instructed to allow that to go. They went reverse of what the rule was written for. The spirit of the rule was the complete opposite.
So meanwhile, Baez better settle down as Clint Barmes, now at the point of his career where he can be called much traveled. Pinch hitting for Zepchinski. It takes a strike, 0-1. This half inning, with all the histrionics, 19 minutes. Well, they wanted a replay to get it right, and they were worried about pace of game. Oops and oops. So meanwhile, Baez has to get his equilibrium back. 0-2. Norris leading from second base. And 20 minutes later, the half inning is over. But the Padres come up with a run and 2 base hits. We'll head to the 7th. With Varmus putting the stopwatch in his hip pocket. 20 minutes. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop at ChooseNissan.com. And by DraftKings. Play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com. Use promo code BLUECREW for free entry. Well, between innings, Don Mattingly refused to leave well enough alone. He was still barking at crew chief Ted Barrett. And still talking about his foot off the bag, and it wasn't. I think it's fair to say everybody knows exactly what happened, and it was how to get themselves out of the mess. The umpires and the replay folks couldn't do it, and it would eventually cost the Dodgers a run. Here's Kevin Quackenbush. He is the 3rd reliever, 4th pitcher for the Padres. And Turner, who led off the 6th inning, will lead off the 7th inning. The 6th inning, from top to bottom, lasted 42 minutes. Dodgers 5 runs and 5 hits. Seager with an RBI, 2 RBIs, and his second base hit. That was in the top of the 5th. And then a curious call in the bottom of the 6th, which would allow San Diego to score a run and drive the Dodgers crazy.
Corey Seager's having an eventful Major League debut in multiple ways.
Right in the middle of everything, isn't he? Turner, who's 1 for 2 and a walk tonight, and a run scored. 1 ball and 2 strikes in the 7th inning. Into left field, Upton going back at the wall. He'll make the catch. Turner didn't get quite enough.
Brought the hands in nicely on that ball coming up and in, just to get the barrel to that ball. And or you were talking about early on that maybe it's a little bit colder today. Air might be a little bit thicker. Maybe different time of the year that would have carried out for him.
Or even earlier in the day. At night it gets a little cooler and air gets a little thicker.
And when you pull your hips in or your hands in like that, you know, and you're working with a shorter lever system, you got to really pop your hips to get the bat speed to get it out, to hit it hard, right? Because you use that longer level system when you got your full extension. The bat's moving a lot quicker.
Carl Crawford is 2 for 3, takes inside, 1-1. 7 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for the Dodgers. They've left 5. San Diego, 5 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. They've left 3. Wallace. Overhand toss to Quackenbush. 2 gone. That'll bring up Yasmani Grandal.
You know, early in the game we were talking about the attitude the Dodgers need to have coming out of the San Francisco series and the sweep to not let down. And this is the kind of part of the game where I think this is where it can creep in. You know, you've had the distraction of the umpire call. You're ahead. You're up by 2. It's near the end of the game, and you can all of a sudden you just got to watch your focus. You got to really watch your focus and go after finishing this game off.
And in the back of their brain, they know the Giants lost.
Exactly.
So this is a
lot of things that could kind of distract you and make you slightly complacent. You got to keep that killer instinct, and Clayton Kershaw voiced that before the hot streak started about we need to play with a sense of urgency, that sense of panic. And they sure have turned it around since he voiced that in his post-game interview a while back.
Meanwhile, how about Kershaw's performance last night?
It was pretty good. He's unearthly. You know, the things that he is doing now in his career and consistently year in and year out. I want to finish it off with he's already in the Hall of Fame. And I want to see the rest of his career, though, because he's going to guard against any comparables, and he's going to keep his game face on and his strength, because he's got a long way to go. But we're witnessing something really, really special.
3-0 to Grandal, who takes a 4-pitch walk. Remember back third week of May, he had been shut out by the Giants, or the Dodgers were shut out 4-0. And folks were saying, what's wrong with Kershaw? At that point, he was 2-3 and a 4.32 earned run average. Well, the answer is nothing. Since then, in 18 starts, 10-3, a 1.26 ERA. And in those 18 starts, 178 strikeouts and 18 walks.
Well, he is actually in the Cy Young race now. There's Zach Greinke, there's Clayton Kershaw, and there's Jake Arrieta. I think those are the 3 right now. And sabermetrically, Clayton is ahead. Zach conventionally is ahead with the ERA where it's at and the number of wins. But it's going to be a battle. Those last 7 starts, an internal battle with those guys and their friendship as far as they love each other, but it's a nice friendly competition.
Well, I think they help each other down the stretch. I think that they push each other.
Van Slyke struck out. That'll end the inning. No runs, no hits, a walk, and a man left. We are at the 7th inning stretch. The Dodgers with a 7-5 lead. been quite a night at Petco Park. We go to the bottom half of the 7th inning, and J.P. Howell is on in relief, making his 53rd appearance. And J.P., his last appearance was on Sunday against the Cubs. Travis Jankowski will lead it off. Squares the bunt, takes it back. It's a strike, and it's 0-1. This game has been filled with intriguing storylines from top to bottom. And he is the lead story. And if you don't know who he is, that's Corey Seager making his major league debut. 2 for 3, 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs.
And the RBIs came on a 3-0 green light. Left on left situation. Don Mattingly cutting him loose.
And then he showed off his base running skills. Howell missing outside, 1 and 2 to Jankowski, with Solarte and Spangenberg coming up.
Should have been part of his first double play.
He was sort of. The 1-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Travis Jankowski. What kind of a mental hangover would the Dodgers have following the big 3-game sweep of the Giants, having won 8 of their last 9 in the first 4 innings? They were struggling to get it going. But the 3rd time around against Colin Ray, the starter, that's when the Dodgers bats began to heat up. They would score 2 in the 5th. He'd soon be gone. The Dodgers come up with 5 in the 6th. Call strike 3. So Howell strikes out Jankowski, first out of the 7th. And the whole storyline coming in was the Dodgers and their ability to be able to keep their foot on the accelerator. What a perfect pitch that turned out to be.
You fall behind 4-0. The Giants were losing in Colorado at the time. You're still down 4-0, and now the Giants have lost, and now you start to mount the comeback. So they've really shown some character here tonight, not really scoreboard watching and getting complacent.
Solarte 2 for 3, a couple of runs scored. Takes inside.
It was too bad about that call at second base because the bullpen was on such a roll. Their mantra right now is to, no runs at all. In the last 26 2/3, 2 runs.
Deep down the left field line if it stays fair. Solarte's 12th home run. It is now 7-6.
Well, there's a legitimate run that the bullpen has given up, that home run. The other one wasn't. So now in the last 28 2/3, 29 innings, the bullpen has given up 4 runs.
And that one was loud and far. Solarte got all of that. I mean, in his at-bats this entire game, he's hit the ball hard.
He and Carl Crawford have hit the ball the hardest.
3rd home run of the season given up by J.P. Howell, Solarte's 12th. And a call strike, 0-1 to Corey Spangenberg. Solarte, the former Yankee, came over in the trade for Chase Headley. One ball, make that no balls and 2 strikes to Corey Spangenberg. A sacrifice, an infield hit, and he flied to center. Al's got to shake it off. And he does by striking out Spangenberg, 2nd out of the 7th. Here's Matt Kemp. 1 for 3, 2 RBIs. He has been on base with a hit or a walk 23 consecutive games.
The other thing about that call, that call obviously being bad and a run was scored, but it also just broke the rhythm. It broke the rhythm of this game. Because, you know, you talk about it all the time, that shutdown inning. Well, the Dodgers score those 5 runs, and then they had an opportunity to get out of that inning right away. And they had to sit out there. They had to wait. They had to wait for the review, everything. It just changed the whole momentum of the game.
So Don Mattingly's going to come and get J.P. Howell. So the Dodgers going to make a move. Grandal is out of the game. And A.J. Ellis will come in, part of a double switch. Here in the bottom half of the 7th inning, the Dodgers 7-6. Brought to you by Flex Alert. This summer, the power is in your hands. FlexAlert.org. Jim Johnson now on in relief. Johnson, who did such great work on Monday night in the 14-inning, 5.5-hour marathon against the Giants. 2 innings, no runs and a hit. His first appearance since. He'll be facing Matt Kemp. With 2 out, nobody on, and a run in the bottom of the 7th. Dodgers 7-6. Kemp 1 for 3. Sees a breaking ball to start off the at-bat. It's 0-1. Most of Kemp's power has come against right-handed pitching. Chopper to short. Seager on hop made it look easy, didn't it?
Yes, he did. Wasn't an easy play as it hit that lip. It just kind of stayed down. He stayed with it. Making everything look easy today.
multi-tier plays of the night. That's his first big league hit. It was a double. He would score a run. And he has a souvenir he will keep forever. His second at bat, he would single in 2. And he is 2 for 3, 2 RBIs, and 2 runs scored in his first big league ball game. His mom and dad in attendance, and Seager leading it off here in the 8th. No balls, 1 strike.
Nomar's first big league hit was a home run. Do you have the ball?
I do.
Oh, you got the ball.
Yes.
The clubby go out there and bribe somebody to get it back?
I met the person after the game.
Nice.
Yep. I brought him around. I forgot what I gave him. I think I gave him a bat, batting gloves, another ball.
Whatever they wanted.
Exactly.
So Seager, a meager .667 is big league average. Now it's 1-2. Curve ball from Kevin Quackenbush. A.J. Ellis on deck.
Is there a big adjustment, Nomar, to big league stuff consistently coming at you compared to AAA?
You try not to think so. I think over time you start feeling the difference. Early on, like your first game, you're not thinking there's much difference. You're just like, all right. You try to tell yourself it's just like what you were seeing down there in AAA. But what you see over in the big leagues is when they find your weaknesses, they exploit them. Mm-hmm. And there are times where you're seeing on a consistent basis just a next level of stuff in breaking pitches.
To second base. Spangenberg throws out Seager, first out of the 8th. It's like that iconic scene from Hoosiers when they measure 15 feet, 10 feet, just like back home. Except now, tonight, he's playing in front of 33,508. In a multi-tiered stadium. But it's still a far sight better than the 19 innings and 5 hours and 44 minutes he played on Tuesday night in Oklahoma City. He and Schebler, for that matter.
There are some exceptional levels of ability, one-of-a-kind types of ability at the big league level that are not at AAA, but I think the key is that the big league level is more consistent.
Yep.
Ellis.
And I found that from AA to AAA. I thought, in AA you have just
a lot of tools.
Amazing ability, yes. But there was a lot more mistakes that you can capitalize on in AA. But in AAA, there was a more consistent level there, and then it even stepped up a notch in the big league.
Into right at Kemp. 2 gone.
Yeah, they throw it as hard. They run pretty much as fast. Certain players, they pick it defensively. Certain players, but all those certain players end up at the big leagues, and then pretty much all of them do it at that level.
And then definitely the speed is definitely a notch up here in the big league level, even compared to AAA. I know there were times even on the infield on the defensive side where I thought, man, am I losing range? I thought I can get to that ball, but you just find out they just hit it harder over
Slightly
here.
harder.
Yeah, that's why you're not reaching it. It has nothing to do with range. It's just that the speed is so much quicker.
Now Peterson with the shift on takes inside and low, 1 ball, no strikes. Jock is 1 for 4. Drove in a run. Hit the ball solidly twice tonight. Line to right in the 3rd inning, and it was a sizzling comebacker to Colin Ray. Deflected off Ray, and a run would come around to score. This time he rolls it to second base, and Spangenberg will throw him out. A 1-2-3 inning for Quackenbush. Go to the bottom of the 8th. Dodgers nursing a 7-6 lead in San Diego. of the game. Tweet your photo with the hashtag SNLA DataStrongFan for a chance to be shown in an upcoming telecast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Well, Jim Johnson, who needed all of 2 pitches to retire Matt Kemp in the 7th inning, will start out the 8th to face Justin Upton, Jed Jerko, and Brett Wallace. Dodgers this year are now 20-21 in one-run games, and the Padres 18-18. And down the stretch they come. Upton tonight 3 for 3. Johnson is the 5th Dodger pitcher of the night, missing with a ball. Upton at 258 now. 24 home runs, 73 runs batted in. 2-0.
Couple of clean innings would do the Dodgers real well. A, they win the game, but B, they stay away from the top of the Padre order, which has really been hot. Solarte and then Kemp in the 3-hole, looking like he's locked in.
I think the one they had, this one right here, Carl, you got Justin Upton, who's got 3 hits so far this game, too. So he's the other one.
But Johnson falls behind 3-0. And a 4-pitch walk to begin the 8th.
6 of his last 8 outings have been scoreless, but they have not been without traffic. And there's action down in the bullpen.
Avilan and Nicasio.
Boy, has Avilan gotten some big outs in his hot streak of late.
When the Dodgers really started to turn things around, sweeping in Cincinnati, there were 2 key at-bats. Avilan against Jay Bruce. One with the bases loaded and one with Bruce being the winning run at the plate.
One he got him out with a breaking ball, the other one he got him out with fastballs.
Fair strikeouts. Jed Jerko is 1 for 3. Drove in a run in the 1st inning. Padres with 2 in the 1st and 2 in the 2nd. Dodgers finally awakened in the 5th. Joaquin Benoit, who's been busy lately, is warming up in the Padre bullpen. Marcus Mateo is the other one. Another very close play at first base.
Ooh, that was close. Really close.
Justin Upton's had a couple close plays around bags.
That was one of those where I was wondering if they were going to go review that.
1 ball, 1 strike. Avilan and Nicasio warming up in the Dodger bullpen. Benoit and Mateo for the Padres. Dodgers clinging to a 1-run lead. Breaking ball missing. Brett Wallace, a left-hander, on deck, so one would think Avilan would be called upon to face him. The 2-1. It's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that's been the difference in the Dodgers over the last 2 to 3 weeks. More situational bullpen activity rather than just bringing in somebody to start an inning.
Very much a matchup bullpen, and now when you have 11 arms down there, you can really go there. But also, the guys have performed at a higher level, only having to get 1 or 2 hitters out that are specifically designed their best matchup.
Jerko on 2-2 fouls it back.
Compared to Well, if he can get through this guy, the next guy is good for him, and then they would end up giving up a hit to the guy that maybe the matchup wasn't the correct one for them. And so Don Mattingly, with his own sense of urgency as far as the bullpen and trying to get them turned around, is giving them fewer and fewer batters to face, and with better and better matchups.
Quick toss to first base. Upton back standing up. Upton has 18 stolen bases on the year. And A.J. Ellis has thrown out 8 of 27, about 30%. There goes Upton. Fly ball, left field. Crawford's going back at the wall, runs out of room. A 2-run home run for Jed Jerko. And the Padres have come from behind. And now lead it 8-7.
Maddening for the Dodgers, and it's maddening for Jim Johnson. He throws so many quality pitches with great depth and sink, and here this two-seamer just stays right up and doesn't move at all. From one release point to another, it can mean the difference of 6 to 8 inches of movement, and he just can't find that consistent release point.
The end of the evening for Jed Jerko. Or rather for Jim Johnson. Jerko hits the home run, his 11th. And Johnson's night is done. So you got the lefty Brett Wallace coming up. One would assume it'll be Luis Avilan coming in, and there he is when we come back. To the postseason is with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, highlights, replay reviews, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcasts, and more. Get MLB.com at bat now. A leadoff walk to Justin Upton and Jed Jerko. A 2-run shot. And the Padres, with a run in the 6th, a run in the 7th, and 2 here in the bottom of the 8th, have reclaimed the lead 8-7. The pride of West Virginia, Jed Jerko. Brett Wallace is stepping in. Now all of a sudden looking ahead to the Dodger 9th. Utley, Gonzalez, and Turner are due to hit. Carl Crawford after them. Wallace 0 for 3. Came into this game red hot. 0-1. Wallace coming into the game had 8 hits in his last 11 at-bats and 10 of his last 15. Derek Norris on deck. Still nobody out in the bottom of the 8th. Should be an easy play for Gonzalez with the underhanded flip to Avalon covering.
The first thing I thought when the ball left the ballpark is that Craig Kimbrell will be up, but he threw 35 pitches yesterday, so the Dodgers are going to catch a little bit of a break and face Joaquin Benoit down by that run in the 9th. At least to start the inning they are.
And Benoit, in 59 appearances, has an ERA of 2.25. And the Padres haven't lost this season when leading after 8. Well, here's Mattingly. Avalon gets Wallace. And you got Juan Nicasio coming in when we come back. Slow-mo cam on the home run by Jed Jerko.
Well, it keeps his head down, eyes on the ball. This ball found the middle of the plate. Jed Jerko did not miss it at all, and he crushed it over there to left center field. One of those they see make a mistake, middle of the plate. Big league hitters are going to make you pay.
Juan Nicasio, his 43rd appearance. A 3.04 ERA, and opposing hitters hitting just .228 against him. Matt Latos went 4 innings, 4 runs, and 8 hits. So the Dodgers were behind the 8 ball early. They battle their way back into the ball game with a 2-run 5th and a 5-run 6th. But here are the Padres right back in it. They've had a run in the 6th, a run in the 7th, and 2 in the 8th. A controversial play in the bottom half of the 6th inning on a double play that shoulda, woulda, coulda, and wasn't. That would extend the inning. Padres would score a run in the 6th. And so now with 1 out, Derek Norris and Juan Nicasio facing one another. Norris tonight is 2 for 3, a run scored and an RBI. He drove in the run when Justin Upton was ruled safe at second base on what appeared to be a clear 6-4-3 double play. They replayed it, even though you're not allowed to replay a neighborhood play. Call went against the Dodgers not once but twice. Kept the inning going, and then Norris with 2 out would single home Upton.
Everything since that play has gone the Padres' way. Omar, you mentioned it broke the rhythm of the game. It really did change the game, and it's sour grapes now that the Dodgers are behind, but it It just feels like that was a turning point.
You definitely feel that turning point, especially you had Pedro Baez out there at the time, and he had a good rhythm going. He was moving quickly. It took so long, and then he ended up giving up the run.
Three and one. In the hole, Seager. Just to get to it was quite something. Showed off a pretty good arm. Norris is aboard with his third hit of the night.
Looks like he said something about the grass is wet.
Yeah, well, because he slid farther than he wanted to as he's going. See how he was trying to get up there? And I think that was what, if he was able to get up a lot quicker, so he gets the ball really quick right here. If he's able to get up faster to his feet, then he might have had a chance.
He might be used to having that knee kind of stick a little bit, and then he can pop up, but he's going to have to learn here.
Alexi Amarista pinch hitting. Two in the bottom of the eighth, and the Padres with an 8-7 lead now. Norris has very good speed, not only for a catcher, he just has good speed, period. He's stolen 3 out of 4. So the Dodgers keeping a close eye on him. There's a strike. Amarista at 215. He's played a fair amount of shortstop for the Padres this year. It's been a long time since they found a real solid everyday shortstop here. 0-2. There was a Padre executive who was inquiring about Nomar's availability tonight. On 0-2. Swung on and missed strike 3. 94 up and in.
That could have been 91, 89. That was a well-located fastball. At 94 in that location, pretty much unhittable.
Jankowski has been called back. And here is Melvin Upton Jr., who used to be BJ. Where did BJ come from? His father's nickname was Bossman. So it's Bossman Jr., BJ. His father's real name is Melvin. So it's Melvin Upton Jr. Casio deals. Fouled off to the right. 0-1.
The name was changed to protect the batting average,
which has come up a bit. He's at 237. Two out of the bottom of the eighth, 2 in San Diego with an 8-7 lead now. Just outside. Interesting that they would pinch hit Upton for Jankowski. Nicasio against right-handed hitters. They're hitting just 177 against him. Well, Murphy knew what he was doing. Norris coming around to score. Upton to third, and he is there. Well, the 8th inning has turned into a disaster for the Dodgers.
A nice piece of hitting by Melvin. So he stays on this ball, keeps his hands above it, drives it there, stayed back, and really hit it hard. And that's an insurance run for the Padres that they were desperately looking for.
Third run of the 8th. It's now 9-7 San Diego. And here is Solarte, who has singled, doubled, and homered tonight. No balls and 1 strike. This has been a roller coaster journey tonight. Solarte 3 for 4, takes a strike, and it's 0-2. So the Dodgers hitting in the 9th will have Utley, Gonzalez, and Turner. And if anything gets going, Carl Crawford, and then a pinch hitter. Nicasio on 0-2. It gets past Ellis, not quite far enough. Nicasio sprinting down from the mound to get to the plate.
A.J. Ellis doing a good job just keeping that close, getting that body in front, also putting that glove in between the legs to make sure it doesn't scoop between there.
Padres have out-hit the Dodgers 14-9. More importantly, they've outscored them 9-7. 2 out, 3 in, bottom of the 8th. Two balls and 2 strikes. If the Dodgers unable to mount a comeback in the 9th, this one's going to leave a sour taste.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel good. It started to have a warm, fuzzy feeling with the 5-run spot in the 6th.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out.
It's some of the problems that we thought were kind of behind us, and the momentum and the sweeping of the Giants really took care of. All of a sudden, there's going to be a lack of confidence and a little fire in that bullpen come tomorrow.
So 3 in the bottom of the 8th. Consolation prize, at least to this point. Colorado routed the Giants 11-3. Into left, slicing toward the corner. It's fair and in play. And in to score is Upton on the double by Solarte. A single, 2 doubles, and a home run for Yangervis Solarte. 4th run of the 8th. 10-7 San Diego.
How hot has Solarte been today? Everything he's hitting, he's just squaring up, and he's just hitting it to all fields.
Back to the beginning of this inning, I was hoping we'd have 2 clean innings so we wouldn't see him. I didn't expect them to be ahead by the time he came to the plate. It was just hoping that we'd shut him down, but he is squaring it up.
Almost went out of the ballpark.
Right.
That was almost a home run.
And it wasn't really that full swing that he takes. He was just squaring it up.
4 for 5, Yangervis Solarte. Melvin Upton Jr. scoring the run, the 4th here in the 8th. And Corey Spangenberg coming up. Spangenberg 1 for 3 and a sacrifice. 15 hits for the Padres. along with their 10 runs. Watch out. Padres began the night 5 games under 500 and 11.5 behind the Dodgers, who had beaten them 8 out of 12 so far this year. Two and one. Ian Thomas, who was up warming early in the game when Latos was struggling, is warming up here late in the game. 2 and 2. Yangervis Solarte out at second base. This is his 3rd career 4-hit game. And all 4 of the hits have been hit right on the button. 2 and 2. Ocasio gets Spangenberg, and finally the Padres are done, but not before they score 4 in the bottom of the 8th, turning a 7-6 deficit into a 10-7 lead. Game summary: Yangervis Solarte, his 3rd 4-hit game of his career, has been the hitting star for the Padres. Jed Jerko 2 for 4, and for Jerko his 11th home run. But quite a night for Corey Seager in his major league debut, 2 for 4, a double, 2 RBIs, and 2 runs scored. Melvin Upton Jr., key pinch hit, scored a run in the 4-run outburst in the 8th inning, stays in the game. Alexi Amarista will take over at shortstop. Joaquin Benoit on to close it down. Last night, Craig Kimbrell, 37 pitches. Texas would win the game 4-3, and so Kimbrell not available tonight. Benoit is. And against Utley, 2 for 4. Gonzalez is 2 for 4 and a home run. Justin Turner has never faced him, and if Crawford is coming up, he is 2 for 18 against him. So here we go in the 9th, and the Dodgers have work to do. The call strike, 0-1. Chase tonight, single, a double, and a walk. Padres, when leading after 8 this year, are 53-0. And Benoit quickly ahead, 0-2.
Joaquin Benoit, mostly a fastball changeup pitcher, but he can make the fastball go with the cutter and the two-seamer, two different directions. There's the cambio.
So Benoit on to close it down. If he is successful, it'll be his second save of the year. One ball and two strikes. Ninth inning. Into left, slicing over, and tracked down by Upton, Justin Upton. First out of the ninth inning. Now Adrian Gonzalez stepping in. 2 for 4 and a home run against Benoit. Joaquin Benoit now 38. Came up with the Rangers in 2001. Went to the Rays in 2010. 3 years with the Tigers. This is his second season in San Diego. 1 ball, no strikes. Gonzalez 0 for 4. 1-1. Corey Seager's major league debut. He had a terrific night. The Dodgers night turned south in the bottom of the 6th. Dodgers trailed 4-0. And they scored 2 in the 5th, came up with 5 in the top half of the 6th. And a controversial call at second base, a double play that appeared to be a double play. Upton sliding into second base. Utley appeared to have straddled the bag, but was called safe by second base umpire Chris Conroy. That began quite an argument. And even in so-called neighborhood plays, you're not allowed to have a replay, but they had a replay anyway. And it would have appear that on this night the umpires got it wrong twice. That would extend the Padre inning. They would score a run in the 6th. Solarte would hit a home run in the 7th, and San Diego would score 4 in the bottom of the 8th. And now the Dodgers are down to their final out.
Justin Turner trying to get in the way of the Padres' perfect record of when leading after 8.
53-0.
Big hill to climb now.
Turner 1 for 3, a run scored and a walk. Never faced Benoit until now.
You know, the Padres, since the start of last season, they are 116-1 when leading after 8 innings.
Pretty good winning percentage, huh?
Yep.
One ball, one strike. 2 out in the 9th. Dodgers now down to their final strike. After tonight, 29 games remain. One ball and 2 strikes. Here's Benoit to Turner. excuse me, swing. Norris will throw out Turner, and the Padres will hang on and win it 10-7, scoring 4 in the bottom of the 8th. For the Padres, 10 runs, 15 hits, 1 error. They left 4 men on. For the Dodgers, 7 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. They left 6. Our Lexus player of the game, in spite of the Dodger loss, that young fella, Corey Seager. Seager tonight, in his major league debut, would single and double. He would score 2 and knock in 2. Well, he had quite a coming out party tonight, to be sure. But the Dodgers lose a tough one and maintain a 6.5 game lead over San Francisco. 7 in the loss column now with 29 to play. That's a wrap from San Diego.